Hello and welcome to Fight News Now Extra. I'm your host, John Pollock, and if the news cycle has been slow this week, that all changed on Wednesday night with the main event of Saturday's card in Dublin going up in smoke. We have a new heavyweight fight for January, and two exciting lightweights are also targeted for the new year. It was announced on Wednesday evening that Joseph Duffy was out of this Saturday's card in Dublin, Ireland for his main event fight with Dustin Poirier. Duffy received a concussion this past weekend. According to his coach, Firas Zahabi, who spoke with MMA Fighting's Ariel Helwani, the incident occurred on Saturday during his last hard sparring session. Poirier will not be fighting on Saturday night. He stated that his management advised him against taking a fight with Norman Park, who is also on the card Saturday and will await a fight with Duffy down the road. The new main event will feature flyweights Paddy Holohan and Smolka. The Dublin card has been hit hard as the heavyweight co-feature between Stipe Miocic and Ben Rothwell also fell apart due to an injury recently to Miocic. However, Miocic will be back and fighting on January 2nd at UFC 195 in Las Vegas against Andrei Arlovski. The news was reported by the LA Times, with the UFC confirming the fight for the pay-per-view event. Arlovski has won his last 4 fights in the UFC's heavyweight division and is on a 6-fight winning streak overall, while Miocic is coming off a TKO win from this past May over Mark Hunt. And UFC lightweight Paul Felder wrote online that he will be fighting Darren Cruikshank on January the 17th of next year on FS1 in Boston. The card will be headlined by a bantamweight title fight as TJ Dillashaw defends his gold against Dominic Cruz. Both men are coming off a pair of losses each as they attempt to get back into the win column early next year. This coming Saturday, tune in at 4 p.m. Eastern Time as Fight Network will be carrying the main card of the UFC Fight Night event from Dublin, Ireland, with the new main event pitting flyweights Paddy Holohan and Smolka against one another, and then tune into the post-fight press conference approximately 30 minutes after the main event concludes. Here with John Ramdeen and Robin Black to chat about what is going on this weekend. We're going to discuss all the changes to the UFC card in Dublin, Ireland. Bellator is also back on Friday night as they will crown a new middleweight champion. But let's first discuss the new main event for Saturday. Smolka and Paddy Holohan have now been inserted into the main event after Joseph Duffy, it was revealed, suffered a concussion this past Saturday during his last hard sparring session. He is out. Dustin Poirier will not be fighting on the card on Saturday. So some unfortunate curveballs to this event, which was to also feature Stipe Miocic and Ben Rothwell, but instead we're getting Holohan and Smolka on Saturday, John.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Any fans that watch mixed martial arts, not for the hype, not for who's the next rising star. If you are a real fan that tunes in to see the actual combat that happens inside of the cage, this is going to be a fight for you. Both of these guys are going to be in tremendous shape. Paddy Holohan's got the crowd on his side, so you know he's training extra hard, or has trained extra hard, to make sure that he does his country proud. Smolka is just a Polynesian warrior. He's going to come out there, and he's going to try to break Paddy Holohan in this fight. I have a feeling he's not going to be able to break him, but he's certainly going to batter him, and it is going to be awesome for the fans.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'm actually sometimes confused why we talk so much about things that are not happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you are...
Well, to be fair, we were talking about this main event.
For sure.
There was a lot of excitement for this fight. There's that natural disappointment.
It's not happening.
When we look at the world, we are where we are. And it's very important to view the world from where you are. If John and I are fighting, and I know that I compare a lot of things in the world to fighting, but that's just how I look at the world. If John is in the mount on me, and I work my way back to guard, John has no reason to think about the mount that he just lost. He's got to deal with the reality of the fact that he's in my guard. Life is the same way. We don't have to worry about the girl we broke up with. We got to be thinking about the girl we're trying to meet on the weekend. And yes, there's no doubt that Poirier and Duffy was an interesting fight, and it'll be an interesting fight when it happens in February. But the fight that we have right now is the fight that we're looking at, and the fight that we have right now is a cool fight.
Well, I think there's just a certain expectation when the girl this coming weekend, a week ago, was on the prelim card. But nonetheless, that is the main event we are getting. Any issue here with Dustin Poirier, he was presented the opportunity to fight Norman Park. He decided against it. Mm-hmm. I don't see a big problem with it. I think that this is very different from a pay-per-view card where it could very much affect sales based on who is in the main event and who is not. There is less financial stake in this for a UFC. It's largely generated on the live gate, which I think is going to be very healthy on Saturday. And for Dustin Poirier, the whole criticism that he'll receive, the guy wasn't a company guy, You know what? It goes both ways. And there are many examples of the past few months where it hasn't been reciprocated, where the UFC have been company people to their fighters.
Exactly. And you know what? Quite frankly, there's just no real history here. You know, the fighters and the organizations and everybody involved, they're trying to figure out things as they go. TRT was allowed not that long ago. Now they're trying to clean things up. They're trying to sort out what's working, and the fighters have to do the same thing. You know, back in the day, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I just show up to fight. I'm supposed to fight one guy. Instead of a 185-pound guy, a 300-pound guy shows up, and I'm going to fight him. Those days are long gone. You have to look at the longevity of your career. You have to look at your finances. And I'm sure Dustin Poirier and his team are looking at what's best for Dustin Poirier, and he said, you know what, I don't need the money. I don't want to slip on a banana peel and have Norman Park, who's not fighting in his backyard, but pretty close to his own backyard. I don't want to take on a guy like that I'm not prepared for. I have a specific strategy for Joe Duffy. I can't implement that because I don't know what some of the other opponents are going to bring to the table. Let's just focus on what I need to do.
If we were lazier in our conversations, we would just say it's either black or it's white. But we're not lazy. We want to do our best to dig in for you guys, and it's gray. It's always gray. Almost every conversation like this is gray because Dustin Poirier should not be criticized. He's the man who has to step in the cage and fight another guy. But if we're looking at some of the gray, this is a lost opportunity. He's in shape, assuming he's in shape, because we're also, some of that gray, is we don't have all the information. Dude could have a separated shoulder and was willing to fight this fight. But with a separated shoulder, it's like, God, I can't also take a new fight. So we don't always have all the information. It's very important for us to remember that. But it is a lost opportunity if it is as it seems. You're in crazy shape. You're 12 pounds out from weight. You've been training and you're ready. You're already in the country. It's all there. It's all there for you to go in. You're fighting a lower level guy who's also not ready for you. You can go in there. Conor McGregor said, I don't care who it is. Oh, Chad Mendes, whatever. That can be done. And 2 years ago, that's what Poirier would have done. He's making changes in how he views the world. There's no right or wrong.
Not a missed opportunity. You said it. He gets a free trip to Ireland. Doesn't have to pay. Gets to go see the sights.
True.
So
That's
good for Dustin
That is
Poirier.
a very honest and true part of that gray. You don't sit there, this guy should step up, and Cowboy Cerrone would have done it. Hey, man, he's a human being who just found out that I'm going to get a little time off to drink some suds in Ireland and cheer for some of my friends. He's a human, man. He's not a robot.
Well, the transfigured main card will be happening here on Fight Network, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, headlined by Patty Holohan and Luis Smolka.